Whenever we get to this part of the Passion reading, I feel really bad for Jesus. He's getting ready to go through the toughest evening of his entire life, and his disciples aren't very helpful. See, even when it's hours before his arrest, his disciples are kind of He shares with them something new that he's going to do. He tells his disciples that his body will be broken and that his blood is a new covenant poured out for many. And then John's gospel spells out for us exactly what this new covenant looks like. It's the new command that Jesus gives, the one that Maundy Thursday is named for. When Jesus says, "A new commandment I give you, that you love one another as I have loved you." But then, after Jesus says these things to his disciples, he tells them, "You will all fall away. You're all going to leave me." He knows what his disciples are going to do, no matter how strongly Peter and the others might object. Even when he goes off to the garden to pray and asks Peter, James, and John to stay and watch, they don't. They fall asleep. And of course, Jesus is about to be betrayed by one of those same disciples. He is going to be completely abandoned by all of those who are closest to him. Can you imagine? Knowing that you are going to the hardest time you will ever face, and everyone you love leaves. In Mark's account, the only people that stick around are the women. It's Mary Magdalene, Mary, James and Joseph's mother, Salome, and Jesus' own mother, who are there through the whole crucifixion and even to the point of seeing where his body is laying. The men are gone. And you know the worst part of it all? Is even today, nearly 2,000 years later, we do to Jesus the same things. We treat Jesus the same way the disciples do, and we run away. But through it all, even when we are running away from him, he still goes to the cross for us. Even when we scatter like his disciples did, Jesus still goes to the cross for us. Now, I'm a pastor, so they taught us all kinds of fancy theological stuff when I was in seminary. And there's a whole lot of ways that people have tried to explain why exactly is it that Jesus had to go to the cross for us. They have all kinds of names for it. There's the ransom theory, the Christus Victor theory, the satisfaction theory, penal substitution theory, theosis, recapitulation, and a whole bunch more. But when we try to make it fancy, when we try to figure out exactly what's going on, we sometimes lose the forest because of the trees. Why did Jesus go to the cross for us? "A new commandment I give you, that you love one another as I have loved you." When we get caught up in figuring out exactly why Jesus went to the cross, we miss this big picture. We miss when Jesus says, "Greater love has no one than this, that he lay down his life for his friends." Only the thing is as Jesus goes to the cross, he's not just going to the cross for his friends. He's also going to the cross for the people who put them there. He's going to the cross for people that are his enemies. And still, he goes to the cross because he loves them. There's a hymn that we'll sing tomorrow night that there's one line in it that I almost can't sing. Ah, holy Jesus. It's a wonderful hymn, right? But on the second verse, I think, there's three words. Three simple little words that I almost can't sing. And no matter how many times I sing the hymn, I almost can't sing it. Because you get to that line, it's talking about all the things that Jesus went through, and then it says, I crucified thee. I love and hate that hymn. Because when Jesus goes to the cross, he goes for us. Jesus goes to his arrest for us. Whether we are going toward him or away from him, he went to the cross for us. This is how God shows his love for the world. That in going to the cross, he does die for us, fulfills the old covenant, gives us a new covenant, one based around this simple command: love one another as I have loved you. As we move forward into Good Friday, keep that in mind. As we go through the last bit of Jesus' life, remember that he went through all of that because he loves us. He went through all of that so his disciples didn't have to. He went through all of that so we didn't have to. When Jesus died on the cross, it was because he loves us. When Jesus was resurrected, it's because he loves us. When he went back to the right hand of the Father, it's because he loved us. When he sent us the Holy Spirit, it's because he loved us. It's easy for us, and when we get caught up in these events, to forget that. And to also forget his command to us to love one another as he loved us, to love our friends, to love our enemies. This is the new covenant in Jesus' blood, to love one another as we have been loved by him. It's why he was born, it's why he dies, and it's why he will be raised again, because he loves us.